Breaking news today for Bitcoin. Donald Trump has signed an executive order creating the first ever U.S. strategic sovereign wealth fund.
This is an executive order. This charges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
The two people in charge of this are very pro-Bitcoin, and over the next 12 months, head of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, as well as head of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, will be filling the fund.
Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Within the next 12 months, we're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices as done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
Howard Lutnick is an even bigger bull.
I would say I have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars exposure to Bitcoin. And it will be billions.
And just to be clear, this sovereign U.S. wealth fund will be filled with many different things. Equities of U.S. companies, investable assets in general.
The extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government and the business it does with companies should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together.
And looking at the two individuals in charge, Scott Bessent, as well as Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick, their belief in Bitcoin could not be more clear. This interview took place before Howard Lutnick was in the Trump administration, before Trump won, and before Howard was now in charge.
What you're going to see is Cantor Fitzgerald is going to be the sponsor of Bitcoin into traditional finance.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will be the leader of it. And I'll pull out this podcast in years to come and say, see, I told you, because no one's going to remember.
Of course.
Right. But all the banks, after we do it and show people how to do it right, they'll all copy.
Mm-hmm.
And so the asset of Bitcoin will just, as it becomes more accepted, it will become more valuable.
And Trump is now actually making this competitive, meaning America's sovereign wealth fund should outperform other nations' funds.
I think in a short period of time, we'd have one of the biggest funds. And, some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it.
This, to me, bodes well that maybe we will get an altcoin digital asset reserve, or XRP, or Solana, or Ethereum, where the high cap altcoins will be added to a digital asset strategic reserve, not just Bitcoin. This is an ongoing story. The minute I get more information, I will make a video, I will keep you updated. But really the bigger fear in the short term for all this is tariffs. Should we expect a bigger crash? Let's talk about it. But breaking news, this just happened. This has to be bullish for Solana. This is an update from Bloomberg Intelligence's James Seyffert, who says the CBOE just refiled all of their Solana ETF 19B-4s for Van Eck, Canary Funds, Bitwise Invest, and 21 shares, meaning the main players who are under consideration to be able to release a Solana ETF all just refiled their Solana ETFs in unison. This is the exact same behavior we saw just before the Bitcoin ETFs were approved for the very first time at the beginning of 2024. There is now a higher probability, now more than ever, that a Solana ETF is about to be approved. And if you're not staking your Solana and earning interest, APY, on your Solana, what are you doing? Friendly reminder, if you're not staking your SOL, then you are actively losing money. For those of you asking, today I want to recommend something that I'm personally going to be using. It's called Marinade. They're a channel partner. They've been around since 2021.
It's been around since 2021 when it launched the first liquid staking solution on Solana, completely bootstrapped with no VC money.
But they've just launched their version 2, which in my opinion is way better. And here's how Marinade delivers the best APY for your staked SOL. And first off, it should just be noted that Marinade is not a single staking validator. They're more of an aggregator or a marketplace. They'll find you the best validator. Marinade connects Sol holders with the best staking rates on Solana. I've put a link down below. Click it, follow along with me. And point number one on how Marinade is different, why I think this makes them better. Number one, they're non-custodial. You keep full custody of your Sol or instantly access the largest liquidity on the market with MSOL. So this addresses smart contract risk.
So starting with smart contract risk, Marinade V2 introduces a new product called Marinade Native, which is completely non-custodial.
So this is non-custodial and has many different security audits. Also protected staking rewards, which is huge. This covers validator downtime and commission changes, protects the staker.
Protected staking rewards is this new cool thing that we're introducing. You can think of it like an insurance for your staking rewards. So if you're staking to a validator expecting 8% yield, that validator goes offline for 5 hours, that yield just drops to 7.2%. So with Marinade's PSR system, any Solana validator to get staked from Marinade, they need to set up a bond of Sol. So if they go offline or they change commission, this bond then covers any potential loss of the rewards, making sure that your rewards are 100% protected.
And the big thing that caught my eye on how Marinade is able to bring you the highest APY in the game, they bring you a staked auction marketplace, meaning validators bid for staked Sol in a neutral open market that boosts yield. And thus then Marinade delegates your Sol to the highest performing validators automatically.
Which is the stake auction marketplace. The way it works is that Marinade puts all the delegated Sol up for an auction to all Solana validators, and the validators bid each other using all revenue streams, MEV tips, block rewards, inflation rewards, you name it, to get the best yield possible on the market out there. This allows stakers to tap into the highest rewards possible.
All powered by the MNDE token for decentralization for DAO governance. Again, link down below. Bookmark this video if/when you're ever ready to stake your Sol. Bookmark, save this video, link down below. And with Trump's tariffs tanking the crypto market, Bitcoin by about 15%, but really tanking the altcoins over the weekend. And then a little whipsaw effect, at least for Bitcoin, when Mexico caved a little, and then the US said, hey, let's delay tariffs on Mexico because they're meeting some of our demands.
Fox News Alert, and the breaking news of the day is on tariffs. And we just have word that the Mexican president spoke to Donald Trump, and they are going to pause the tariffs on Mexico for 1 month.
This was the update as of this morning.
The president spoke with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, the two sides agreeing to pump the brakes on the tariffs and then retaliatory tariffs that Mexico promised for the period of a month while they work out the terms of an agreement. The Mexican president just posted some of the details. Mexico is going to immediately send 10,000 members of the National Guard to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, particularly fentanyl.
Now there's still tariffs on Canada. There still is expected to be future tariffs on the EU, also China. And why tariffs tank markets in the short term? It's pretty basic. Tariffs are essentially a tax on international exchange. And the higher a tax is on international trade, the more that incentivizes less trade internationally, or more trade within the nation, but less trade internationally. That's less commerce. That's also higher prices for individuals in the United States. All that constricts commerce, tightens an economy, and that's why markets reacted to the negative. And here's the truth. Bitcoin still has had only a 16% correction from its highs as of the beginning of the year. We could go down as much as a 30% correction, and that would be very normal. But tariffs create inflation. Inflation has been historically great for Bitcoin. Also, tariffs in the long term create a global tariff war. That's economic chaos. And many, many other countries are going to be forced to do QE, quantitative easing, printing money first. QE is great for crypto. In the short term, though, there is unknown. There's uncertainty. And what the markets hate more than negative news, which they can price in, is uncertain news. Where will we be in 2 months? It's hard to say with Donald Trump at the head.
I'd say there's decent odds that, let's say we go 3 months out, that the tariffs will be rolled back because concessions were received. And there are also other mechanisms in place to sort of protect markets from the downside. I know people think this is an unlimited risk scenario for stocks, but if the tariffs come into play and other countries go into recession, those central banks will be easing, which will actually improve liquidity. So I'd say that as bad as things look, I do think there's downside protection.
By the way, just in, Donald Trump's crypto czar David Sachs reportedly to hold a press conference tomorrow to discuss how to secure America as a leader in the digital asset ecosystem. Stay subscribed to Altcoin Daily. I will make a video. I will keep you updated. Also, link down below to take advantage of the Altcoin Daily BitUnext trading competition, up to $20,000 in a progressive prize pool. And more of you are jumping in, showing your skills. But like always, see you tomorrow.